All right. Now let's go ahead and continue drawing this piece. I'm going to go through it pretty quickly because I don't want to have this too long. So first of all, I know that I've got a 250, a 150, and a 200. So let's draw those first. Circle, what was that? Diameter of 250. Circle in the center of that. Circle in the center of that. Diameter 150. And I know what that is. That is the center line of my relief, the center of my relief. And then I have a, what was the other one? 200. So I have a circle, center, diameter, 200. And there it is. So I've got all those drawn. So that 200 is also a center line as well, right? So let's change that one to a center line. So we got them. Now, let's go ahead and draw some center lines to work with. Straight lines, straight up. So you might notice we do this as a habit in most of the other parts. If you do this as a habit, you'll always have nice reference lines to work with. They're always accurate because they're always based on the center of something. All right, and what are these? These are center lines. There we go. And we're good. So we have our center lines. So what do we need to do now? Well, let's go ahead and draw that slot at the top. You see the slot? Let's draw that slot. It's real easy. It's giving me 2 dimensions, 60, which is an offset to the right. Offset this to the left, 30. And then it tells me what this is. So let's do that first. So let's offset 30, going to the left, 30 again, going to the right. And now I've got my 2 intersection points for those 2 radiuses that are called out, which happen to be a radius of 10. It's on that center right there. So I need to draw a radius and draw another radius, okay, or 2 circles with a radius of 10. So circle right on that intersection, 10 is a radius. Circle on that intersection, 10 is a radius. All right, so now I've got my 2 little radiuses, right? Well, if we go back and remember in assignment 2A again, you remember how we did circles and did tangents? Well, doing a circle, we want to do it in the center of this piece right here. So since there's so much stuff around, I'm going to hit CEN. So I know I'm in the center of this. And I'm just going to come up and do TAN. And guess what? If I put it on this outside edge, it's going to tangent it right on it. Check that out. And it tangents on the 2. Do it again. Center of that same circle again. And what do? TAN for the lower half. There it is. Now what do? Trim. Trim this, 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 and this. I don't want to pick everything, just those things. That's all I'm dealing with, right? Right click, and what do I want to get rid of? That one, that one, that one, that one. And guess what? Got my slot. Don't need these 2 lines anymore because all they were for was for building that piece up, right? Now, if I wanted to, I could draw a center line from the inside here going up through here. Center line from here going up through here. And I can extend them out to whatever, and I can match those properties to center lines, right? All right, so we know that I got 4 of these things, right? So why don't we do an array? Array classic. Put a window around its polar, going around in a circle. I'm gonna go ahead and copy these 2. Do I really want those? Yeah, because we can break them. And I'll tell you what, why don't we break them like it shows in my drawing? Break, BR, from here, go out. From here, go out. Let's go from about right there, out. And right there, out. Notice I can't see a center line here. Why? Maybe because my line type scale is still a little big, so I can't see that separation of this gap. So I'm going to go to line type scale. This is where you just modify a little bit. And I'm going to go down just a little so I can get a little bit more lines in there. Okay, looks like that wasn't enough. Let's go down to 15. Aha, now I can actually see it a little bit better. Based on my scale, I just adjusted my line type so I can see lines. Okay, that's all I did. All right, so we're good. So now let's do Array Classic. What do I want to pick? Let's pick everything right here, which happens to be the slot and the 2 lines. Right click. Where's the center of my piece? Well, CEN, because I got a lot of other things in there, lines and stuff, and I just want the center. How many pieces are there? There's 4. And there they are showing, all 4 of them. So what am I going to do? Hit OK. And there I've got my 4 slots, just like this one here. All right, then let's go ahead and start drawing the inside pieces. Now this one is pretty easy. It's got a radius of 30, and remember this is also the center of this center line right here. It comes across, and that's the center of my circle right there. That's the center of this circle, the radius 30. So I'm going to draw it on 90 first, and we're going to rotate it up. All right, so let's draw it on 90. There's my 150. Circle right on it. Right? Circle right on that intersection. Oops. Circle and T. There you go. And what's the diameter of it? It's radius 30, right? Oops. Circle. Radius 30. There we go. Now rotate this one from the center 45 degrees. That puts it in the right spot. Then what do I do? Array classic. Right, select objects, that circle, center. Where's my center? I can't find it. So CEN of that. And say OK. There we go. There's my pieces. Now I know for a fact that these arcs get cut off on that, so I'm going to trim. Oops, wrong way. There we go. So there's my 4 arcs on the inside, and it goes to that same center line, right? That center line happens to be the middle of those pieces of arc. All right, and there they are right there. They trimmed. Now, I need all this to be, I need to go ahead and make this all a solid piece, right? This is actually a piece that's solid, so I'm going to trim this out too. Trim this, trim this, trim this, trim this. Get rid of the centers. Don't need those. Don't need that. Don't need that. And what do? Just take these right here and convert them to what? Object layer, right? Oops. Clicking on too much stuff. Convert it to object. There we go. That means I've got my piece in the center. Now the other circle that you saw, now I drew that piece in the center. You can see it. It's right there. Okay? The stuff that's there, the part that I'm going to draw now is actually the relief. It's the relief that I took from this view and slid it over. So I need to draw this view first, right? And to save some time, this is pretty easy. I'm just going to draw a line from here over. From here over, you can see that's my part coming down. What's the thickness of it? It's 10 for the first ledge and 35 total. So let's go offset 35. Offset 35. That's the full thickness. Offset 10. That gives me my ledge. Right? Let's trim this stuff off. Notice how I use crossing a lot. I like that a lot because it's quick. Alright, so now what happens? Where is this piece here? Comes across, right? Right there. That is the center line, right, of my relief. So what do I do? Circle, intersection, right there. What was that? 1.5 radius. There's my relief, right? So what do I do to get this piece done right? Trim this. Put a window around all this, and this, and go trim, 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 and that's it. Now, what about this part back here? Do I need that? No, I don't, right? Nope, don't need it. It's gone. So there we go. Then what about the front up here? Just trim off this front. And then trim this off because it's the boss that I don't need the top part of this, right? So trim this and this. I don't need any of these two. Gone. You can get rid of this back here too, because guess what? I'm going to use the mirror command to mirror this whole little piece from the middle somewhere. It doesn't matter where. There we go. Just draw the line here. Straight down. And the same thing goes for here. Trim this and get rid of these two lines. And there's my part right there. Now, in this case, I actually happen to see this line going down because it's the face of that boss that sticks up, right? There's a difference. So I need to draw that line. So let's put that line back in really quick. Center, center. And just trim that off. Now that I've got this, now I can project where this relief comes from. So relief, right there, do a line. I'm going to project it over across my part. Just go to the other side, doesn't matter. Relief from right here, which is that end point of that piece that touches that thing, go right across there. Now, guess what? I've got my two positions for my groove that I want to show, right? Circle, center of this whole part. And guess what? I have my circle. What do I want to do? Remember how we did this? Tangent. Circle again, center of the same thing. Tangent, which is the second one on the inside. Right? There's my two pieces. Erase these two lines. Don't need them anymore. And guess what? I've got the groove that goes around. But we're going to have to do some changes to that groove, right? Because as it goes underneath this part, it becomes a hidden line. So what we're going to do is, we're actually going to trim some of this stuff out. Let's trim it out, trim it out, trim it out, trim it out. Parts that you don't see, which happens to be this one, this one, this one. Right? You don't see that? You don't see this. Now it looks correctly because that's the groove going underneath that piece. You see it? It's going underneath. That's all it is. That's all we drew. This looks clear to you, right? But now I also need that circle back so I can put my center lines back in, right? Circle, center of this. And where was that? It's equal to this, right? So I'm just going to go right there. It's right there. There it is. But I want to change this to what? Center line. So I got my center line back. Now we're going to use that break command again. We're going to use the break command. Now before you use the break command, make sure your F3, which is your O snap, make sure it is off. Right down here. See, it's off. O snap off. And when I do break, it lets me pick this line anywhere on this line. I'm just going to pick right here somewhere. I'm just going to come over here, somewhere past it, and click it. Look, it took out that little piece of center line out of the way. Do the same thing over here. Just touch right there on that center line. Come right past this ledge, somewhere over here, and it takes it out. Right? Same thing over here. Takes it out. Same thing over here. And takes it out. And notice I am going counterclockwise. That's how you're supposed to select this little circle. That's how it keeps the rest of the circle intact and only takes out that section that you're wanting to take out. And there you go. You got it. It's all done. All right. And then, of course, you take all your lines and you carry them over, and they become the F3 back on. And they become... So what would I do here? What would I do right here? Is that a middle point? Well, no. When we do quadrant, I know that's a quadrant there, right? Come straight across to here, right? And then what about the most bottom part of this quadrant here? So forth and so on. You already have this there. You already have that there. But you got to see, you see this corner right here, looking at it from the right side, right? You see this corner right here, looking at it from the right side, right? What else? Now, since I did the whole top half, I can just mirror all that down. But don't forget, you've also got this slot here that goes all the way through. And looks like that's about it, right? I think that's all you're going to see. I believe that's it. So we should be good. So now just trim this thing off. Right? And what do I change these to? Hidden lines. Hidden lines. And those are not hidden lines because those are things I see looking in from this right side in. I can see those mouths. I can see those openings, right? So now does this slot go all the way down from the top, or does it stay on the outside? It stays on the outside, right? So trim this. It's right there. There we go. So let's mirror this. And mirror these two. And just pick a midpoint and turn it around. And there you go. There you go. And then you can grab this line. And there's your center line of the piece. Alright. Done deal. Add your dimensions. Good to go.